Okay, yo, welcome back. I'm Tangent. This is the Art versus Science channel to do with AI agents. And it seems that we are running into all sorts of problems because of the limits that are on some of these free AIs. I'm hitting blocks and limits in all different directions, but it's fine. We will find workarounds, and we will also just accept the limitations for now. This video, we're going to recap where we got up to with everything that was in day one and the first business, and then work out what we're going to do as the second business. And so, yep, day two, part one. The hit a wall on Shopify. So remember how we got one of the AIs, we got Gemini. Oh, by the way, one of the limits that I hit was CapCut stopped me from being able to make those shorts anymore. So, in the last video I said, if you like efficient content, just watch the shorts and don't watch the long form. At the moment, I'm going to have to find another solution for that because the channel's so small, obviously doesn't make any money. And so my enthusiasm to go and pay for like a bunch of tools to do with the channel is low at the moment. So we'll see what happens. But I really do like those clipping tools like CapCut that give you those shorts. They're really cool. They're actually very, very, very valuable. And I was told that CapCut, you actually can keep using it for free, but obviously that's not the case anymore. That's all good. So Gemini gave us remembered we asked Gemini yesterday to give us let's take a step back quick. The first business that we were talking about is a print-on-demand business, just in case people haven't seen the previous videos. Print-on-demand business, we thought that would be an easy way to start. And I think it's been a success, even though we hit some walls. And we're going to talk about what worked, what didn't work, where we hit the walls, what the future might bring. And we might even try and one-shot it with GenSpark. Then, as a part of that, we basically used one of the AIs to give us a linear path. Say, just, don't confuse us with a million different options. Just try and tell us the best of everything to set up. And it said Shopify, Printify, Midjourney. By the way, this was before I prompted it to say we want all free stuff. So Shopify, Printify, Midjourney, AI text generation, we don't actually need that. And then automation is something that we're going to do in the future. But that's actually good. We want automation at some point, and then image upscaler, depending on what image you're using, you may or may not need that. So the point here is Shopify immediately dogged the boys and did not allow me to set up an account, even regardless of how I was trying to do it. So not Shopify, Etsy. So Etsy. So what happened with Shopify? Oh, that's right. Sorry, other way around. So Shopify has only got a 3-day free trial. So I decided, and then it's 3 months for $1 a month, which is fine. That's also, I consider that to be effectively free. But I thought before I pull the trigger on the 3-day free trial to even decide whether we want to go into the 3-month $1 per month trial, I wanted to actually have a decent amount of time to play with it in the 3-day trial. And that's not going to happen while we're doing this business a day thing, because now we're moving away from the print on demand to go and do something different. So I decided not to explore that, but I'm told that Shopify is good. So that's there waiting for us when it's time. Then Etsy just refused to give me an account. I don't know why. It brought up this error regardless of whether I was trying to just log in it with a Google account or actually set up a new account. So maybe they're just their servers are cooked, or maybe they're freaking out about the VPN I'm using or something. They think I'm like a bot or a scammer or something. So not sure what's going on there, but you do need Etsy because Printify, let's just jump straight over into Printify. And so you can see here we've got a scented candle, a scented soy candle with the image that we talked about yesterday, the little rubber ducky ISO pod. Let's just zoom that in. Yeah, sick. So it's not even loading. What's up? Yo, what's up? What's up now? So there it is. So we've got that on there, but putting things on products on Printify, you need to connect a store. So you would go to, in here, you've got store settings. In fact, that's not it. That's not my address, by the way. That's their address. So dashboard maybe? Connect. Yeah, so you go connect your store. That's to connect to Etsy. But there was one where it was like you could just connect to like a bunch of different stores. Where's that gone? Manage my stores. What the hell? The interface is actually not very intuitive. I've found a few times I'm like, where was that thing that I was trying to get to? Something like this should just be like, for a regular internet user, it should just be very intuitive as to where things are. But anyway, somewhere in here is the ability to connect to like all different stores, and so that you can sell these products. And I just uploaded, this is weird, I just uploaded the one of the images that we made yesterday, and it's actually not showing up. Interesting. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, because if there isn't a connected store, you can't sell it anyway. But we got most of the way down that path. And by the way, using Redbubble, we technically achieved the first AI business yesterday. I wanted to do more, but then I got stuck down that rabbit hole of investigating Kickstarter. Kickstarter looks to be a banger. And if we end up doing something with Kickstarter later in the series, it's going to be something that is really, really high value, whether it's hardware or digital product. I would want something that's like insane, not like what some of the people on Kickstarter are doing, where they're just, the thing that they're selling is just nonsense. So, but because it has the word AI in it, it just goes, and people are just like oversubscribing to it like madness. Dude, you saw my shock yesterday. Dude doing basically these videos like what I'm doing, he raised 30 grand. So it's like crazy. It's crazy out there, yo. So here on Printify, we're only limited by the fact, so you can upload the images, you can create the products and put the image on the products. By the way, Redbubble has a better system where once you've uploaded an image, it then shows you all the products on one screen, and you can choose what ones you want your thing on. This one, it's like you have to do them one by one unless I'm missing something, right? So I'm actually learning a lot about these different industries and different sites and tools. And there are people out there that know a lot more about it. You can search on YouTube to find people that talk about these things and give you the alpha on how you use these individual sites. And one of the things that I found by doing that is that they say that the most important thing, if you're going to do any of this print on demand stuff, is the research that you do up front to decide what the image is going to be. And that is the one thing that we absolutely nailed it to do with getting AI to actually do that part of it. We absolutely nailed it. The AI handled that like a boss. So that's really good, that even though we didn't get it to be a fully automated, fully AI agent style business, we managed to get the most critical element was handled by AI. So that's cool. Yep, so Etsy dogged us. And this was the Gemini. Yeah, that was the Gemini search to get that. The most recent image that I did, I tried to get, so I took one of the ideas from here, this emote explosion, and I put it into Grok, got Grok to refine the prompt over here so that the prompt would be really good for creating the image and making sure that it's good for print on demand items. And then I fed that prompt back into Flux, and unfortunately it failed. And this is meant to be the best image creating tool that's free. You've got, I would say, Flux, Grok, and then obviously OpenAI's ChatGPT is technically free, but it's limited. And it just appears that currently nothing is close. Unfortunately, nothing is close to ChatGPT's thing. Maybe Midjourney, but I think that's paid. So over here, you'll see, I tried to take this image that I've got 4 hours left before I can make images again. See how it says here you've hit the limit of the free plan. Your limit resets in 4 hours and 9 minutes. Obviously, they must have had a lot of people complaining about it, saying, how long do I have to wait? Because it wasn't clear before. It didn't used to tell you. And so now they've obviously put something in there to make sure that the answer tells people how long they have to wait. I was just trying to get this guy right here, which is meant to represent me, to look less cracked out. I was like, this looks like an old junkie, and I would prefer him to look like a slightly younger, like not heaps younger, just slightly younger and not as cracked out. So, and unfortunately, we've already hit the limit on that. I was actually going to try and use this image here. I thought this was reasonable for some items, that even though it's not a picture, it's square, so it might look a bit weird on a t-shirt maybe, but on something like a mug, I can imagine this looking quite good. So I tried to upload that to Printify, and it obviously hasn't recognized it yet. Give this a refresh, see if it does. It doesn't really matter though, because we can't actually sell it. Whatever. So that is where we're at in terms of hitting the limits on the image creation. We now know that ChatGPT is pretty much, so hopefully, because they did a multi-billion-dollar raise, so people are hoping that they're going to use some of that money to improve their capacity of people being able to come and create these images. I tried Leonardo as well, and it didn't do, or now it's having an application error, but it also didn't do a great job of being able to create an image with what you want. Everyone is pretty much saying that if you want to design thumbnails, or you want to create images for a specific purpose, or you want to modify an image or whatever like that, that it's difficult for anything to be taken seriously compared to what ChatGPT can currently do. So we'll stick with that for now. Let's go over to, so yeah, Flux failed in that specific request. I'm sure it's fine. Let's give it something. What can we give this AI just to give it a chance to create something? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe if we go and grab one of these ideas. Oh yeah, how about I really like that idea for the retro console evolution. Let's grab that. We won't do the title and everything. We'll just go this. There was one of the AIs, I think it was Leonardo. When I asked it to make the image applicable, or like good for putting on these print-on-demand items, it put that idea into the actual image, and so the image was filled with all these little items with the image that it had created, which was total nonsense, on those items. So it was an image of print-on-demand items rather than the image being good for print-on-demand items. And I'm just like, oh. So let's get this prompt. And we'll go, please create an image that is appropriate. That's the word I was looking for before. Appropriate for a POD item based on this design brief. Takes 1 credit per gen. I'm not sure how many credits you get for free and whether they refresh every day or whatever, but we'll find out. I think it's worth giving, rather than just giving it only one try and be like garbage. Wow, okay, that's actually better than the one that we got out of that other one we were using yesterday. Was it Grok or was it something else? In fact, sorry, it was actually ChatGPT. It was ChatGPT. Further back up here was this one that I didn't because I preferred the idea of it all being in a line, right? The actual console progression. That's actually not bad, other than it's like created fake consoles. I mean, I don't know. Are any of these real? I don't think any of these are real. So at a glance, I thought it had done a good job, but it was just happened to get what I subjectively wanted in terms of the distribution of where they're located in the image. But other than that, they're actually junk. So stick with ChatGPT for now, even if it means you have to wait to get your gens done. Let's go straight on over to here for this is the super agent GenSpark. You know, I didn't end up using it yesterday, so I don't know whether I just binned those credits or whether they do add up. So we're gonna ask this agent. This prompt obviously won't work, but we'll just see how far it can get. I want you to research a profitable print-on-demand image idea, rather, and then create an image. I don't think this agent can actually do image generation. Oh, I guess actually it does have the image studio there. It's just whether the agent has access to it. You'd hope it would. And then create an image based on that idea. Oh, yeah, actually, that's pretty obvious. That's implied. And upload it to a print-on-demand site. And then set up a store where people can buy it. One shot. Colby. So what's cool is we're going to see where it fails. Oh, it's okay. Limitations. I can't directly upload images. The image gen will require your approval. You'll need to complete the actual store setup. Yeah, that's cool. At least it's self-aware, so it knows its limitations. Would you like me to start? Yup. This is what I want to see from an agent when I ask it to do, because we want this to be normie friendly, sort of. And you remember when I made that distinction of actual normies and then there's tech savvy normies, right? The tech savvy normies, we would want someone to be able to come and ask it for something and it understand and communicate what its limitations are. By the way, remember how I was the whole reason why we ended up on Kickstarter was because I was trying to work out what that product was that was called a scam and find out whether it was the hardware thing that Rabbit was offering. And it turns out that Kickstarter was not the right spot to look. It was actually YouTube on the channel CoffeeZilla, where he actually did review those Rabbit hardware devices and claims that they are scams. So it appears that while that Rabbit AI agent is free to use, or it has a free tier and has done stuff that is like legit, like as in it got me all of these image ideas in here are from Rabbit. Allegedly, their hardware devices are scams. Let's just go over to YouTube now. I'll show you these videos that we're talking about here before I forget. CoffeeZilla, Rabbit. Reminds me of the Eminem movie. All right, so here, $30 million AI is hiding a scam. Rabbit gaslit me, so I dug deeper. Rabbit gaslighting me, full conversation. Rabbit R1 is just an NFT scam. So I only saw 2 videos yesterday when I looked it up, but he's even got some shorts about it. But he's got 4 videos here that say that this device is a scam. So just use the free AI agent if you find it useful, but be very careful if you're going to go and consider ordering one of these. CoffeeZilla would say don't bother. But they might, it could be that they're going to improve it, maybe. Like let's entertain the possibility that they might step it up at some point. So let's go back over here. Based on my research, I've identified a profitable print-on-demand opportunity in 2025. I'll create a mystical, celestial-themed cat design for pet owners, particularly targeting the cat mum/dad market, which research shows has passionate, ready-to-buy customers. All right, well, I like the fact that most of the AIs that I asked this question to, even though I specifically said to them, hey, I want you to just find somewhere where there is a supply deficiency. It doesn't actually matter whether it's a niche product that has no supply or a really popular product that has a fairly large supply but just not big enough to fulfill the demand. Really what we want to look for is the supply to demand gap. And most of them just went straight for niche. They just all the AIs like, yeah, we're going to go and find some whack niche out there that's like really, searching on Reddit for, which is cool. Like that still answers the question. Growing communities that are, because then they're underserved, right? If they're new and growing. But it's interesting that GenSpark instead has decided to go for something where, obviously, cat owner is. There's a massive supply and a massive demand, and it seems to think that this might be a product that mystical, celestial themed cat design. Let me get your approval. Yep. And so let's just see if it's got enough credits to finish the job. Okay. Oh, okay. It's using Flux. So it uses Flux for its image gen. So that might be a bit of a problem. One of the most important things, that's actually not bad. I can imagine females getting excited about this. And they have put cat mom here, American spelling. And it's going for a second one. No. It said network error, but then it actually still brought it. Oh, okay. It's doing Cosmic Cat Mum and Cosmic Cat Dad. Yeah, you know what? This is going to sound sexist, but I don't think dudes are going to get excited about this. So we're going to go with this one up here. And then it's got then it has hit an error. So all you would do is image to video. Okay. So it does have access. How would you put a video onto items? You would need screens, wouldn't you? New business idea. So, okay, that's cool. So even the super agent, even the most powerful AI agent that we have access to at the moment, and I would assume that this error is probably it running out of tokens, was not actually able to go any further down the path of automation than us just simply using any of the AIs and just being like, yo, do it. Apart from some of the ones that weren't able to generate images. So that's kind of good news and bad news at the same time, right? Right. So let's count that as a win that we've learnt about some of these sites and tools that are involved in doing a print-on-demand thing. We've looked at some of the costs and benefits. We've said that this is dope because it means that once you've set it up, the business basically runs itself. We have a fairly clearly defined path of how AIs with agency would be able to take it further and basically do that workflow. I didn't look into using Make because I don't even know if that's going to be my favorite workflow one. If an AI workflow tool gets deemed by everyone to be the king, to take the crown of AI workflow, at some point we maybe will use that, but I'm really hoping for the agent solution where we don't even need to create workflows. But you can imagine the workflow for something like this would be pretty similar, pretty linear and pretty simple, and you would know where to insert the AI and where it just needs to be a non-AI node, right? So the research element at the start obviously requires an AI model, and then creating the image needs AI, but you might use a different AI, one that's good at creating the image. So you would use a deep research tool for the first part, a good image creating AI for the second part. Then it's simply uploading the image that does not require AI. Then it's the doing all the stuff with all the sites that do this stuff, which is just APIs. Again, that doesn't require AI, although maybe you would have an AI watching over it and managing it to make sure that it doesn't hit into any problems and handles the errors if it does. So i.e. retries, reporting to you to send you an email or report to you if something goes wrong, or if it's a success. And then that's it. That's it. That's literally it. And then that's it. It would be your new product would be online, ready to sell, and then when people buy it, the money just goes into your account. That is baller. That is baller. It reminds me of that story that one of the comedians was telling about Jay-Z, where he's like, he's got his own vodka brand, so now he can just go to the club, drink vodka. He buys the vodka for his friends, gets bottle service, and then boom, the money just goes straight back into his account. Obviously, it doesn't quite work like that, but I thought that was quite humorous, and the same thing would be happening with us, but we'd be doing it with Fugazi digital images on the internet rather than vodka. Better for your health, not as tangible. So, and that's why they call me Tangent, because I go off on tangents. So yeah, we'll put a pin in this one. And now we need to quickly go and look how long has this video been going for? 27 minutes. Very cool. I'm trying to keep it efficient just in case I'm not able to do the shorts. And now let's go and look at what we're going to have as business number 2, and then I'm going to get on with the day actually doing it. So we've done. Oh, I was going to cheat a bit and do print on demand, each print on demand website as a separate business, just to try and get more mileage out of all, because we're putting a lot of time and effort to investigate and research and understand how these businesses work from a non-AI point of view, just for us to be able to apply the AI tool to it, by the way. So I'm learning so much as we go through here and deliberately trying to do a rush job of it. Minimum viable product, right? So Shopify, okay. Selling a digital product on Gumroad. I'm excited about that one, but I'm not quite ready to actually do it because we would need to give more thought to what we actually want to put, like something like an ebook or anything that's digital, I guess. Offering e-services. Yeah, you know what? Maybe, because I'm thinking with something like that, the earlier we sort of offer services, the more time in this 30-day period it's going to have to get success by. Although I guess you could argue that that applies to any of these businesses, right? That they all would benefit from additional time to actually start bringing in revenue. Offering custom prints. Oh, that's 3D prints. I was about to say, isn't that what we were kind of just doing? Offering custom 3D prints. A freemium app, that's a mobile app. Getting a YouTube channel to where it can be. So I thought I would just slot in. This idea was, since we are using AI as much as we can on this channel, I thought maybe that would actually count, and maybe it's a cheat. Maybe it's cheating, but having that as potentially an additional one that just slides in for the month is this channel itself, if it was to get monetized. And I think that's a tall order for such a new channel to meet those, because there's some requirements for it to get monetized, which are not that easy to achieve in terms of subs, number of hours watched, and there's something else. But then there's dating app or bot. That doesn't necessarily have to be a mobile app. That could just be a website. And video game. Wow. I want something that we can make sure that we can definitely achieve in a day. I mean, technically offering e-services, the business is set up as soon as you actually put the ad on the site. So really all that would require, I think I'm already selling it to myself, right? I think we're going to go with this one, because all this is going to require is we need to research the sites, the best sites to do it on, work out what can be offered that can be handled by AI, preferably fully automatically, but at least in terms of, even if you're just like cutting and pasting, going between the AI and back to the customer. And it benefits from having that additional time of starting it early in the month, so that someone might actually try to use the service. And then literally it's just creating an account and writing a post with possibly an image or a video that describes what we're going to do. And the ethical consideration of depending on what it is that is on offer in terms of the service, whether or not it should be made clear that AI is going to be used, that could possibly damage the number of sales that you make. But I think that's quite important if it's going to be so possibly the service that you're really providing is saying, hey, I'm really good at prompt engineering and I can help you with this task, and I'm going to be using AI to do it, but you won't do as good a job as me. Lol. And so, which is probably true actually, that most people would struggle a bit. Even though I gave you guys the prompting alpha, is you just ask the AI, hey, how do I prompt you to do this? And then you do it. So that's the part of being a prompt engineer, is knowing to ask the AI to give you the alpha. So a video game would also be pretty fun. We'll do that later. So let's move this one up. Why did it mess the numbering up? What the hell? Is this thing trying to like... You trying to be smart? Man, we need AI spreadsheets, bruh. By the way, this one... Oh, I did a... Whatever. I'll sort that out later. You guys don't need to... We don't need to do the Uber driver thing over here. So you'll notice these ones down here, I've got some black ops. It shouldn't even say budget because it's actually all completely free. We'll just call it black ops. And they've got code names or code letters. These are business ideas that that can't be discussed on YouTube, just because they might involve things that are typically banned or shadow banned, and we won't even necessarily do them. But if we do, I will find a way to be able to at least give enough information about what's going on and be as transparent as possible without breaking any YouTube rules. And by the way, we might not, if we get enough ideas, we might not even have to do it. But you'll notice we've got nearly a third of the table is already filled with ideas, and people are throwing ideas all the time. Remember, if you have an idea that you think is cool that you want me to do, put it in the comments. If you want to discuss what we're talking about here, we've got the Telegram, t.me/art versus science. And that reminds me, I wanted to bring that up to show you guys some of the cool stuff. Why is it not letting me do that? Okay, here we go. Right. So this is a Grok 3 mastery cheat sheet. and by the way, like just reading it gives you better insight into how the prompts actually work, right? So act as a role, create a task, show as format. Pretty cool. Right? And then, this was when I was looking at the image stuff, and it says that you can actually, so ChatGPT uses DALL-E 3, and Copilot apparently also uses it. I couldn't be bothered making a Microsoft account, but if that might be a way that you can get more mileage out of being able to use a quality one, assuming it works the same way, and that if ChatGPT has bolted something on, some kind of like logic or intelligence, you might not get as good results out of Copilot, but it might be worth a try if you're hitting those limits like what I was hitting. What else have we got here? Some people getting excited that they're also in Manus. I've got the Manus one. I need to just go back and check whether I can actually use it again. I don't think Manus gives you credits on a time limit. It's not like daily or monthly you get more credits. It's just every now and then they just bless people with extra credits. So that's unfortunately, I got to use Manus once and then haven't been able to use it since. I thought this was quite interesting. It's talking about having a jailbreaking LLM and also hiding messages within images. Using an AI to do something like that would be a lot easier. So you could AI generate an image. You remember how spies used to put messages inside of images. It's called steganography, right? So yeah, see, jailbreaking, training LLMs to remove safety features. So you can train an LM to jailbreak other LMs. You get your LLM, you get your local LLM to talk to the LLM that you're trying to jailbreak, and it'll prompt it in a way to get it to the point. It'll just, massage the conversation until it tells you what you want, what you need to know, right? It's like effectively, I would call it interrogation AI. It just like, it gets that other LLM in a room and says, let's have a little chat until it gives you the information that you want. And then there's this stenography one I thought was also pretty cool. This was in some research that I was doing to do with the ways that people misuse AIs. And, that's the CoffeeZilla one there. That I was just letting them know about that. What's this one? They're the different shops that we can use for the print stuff. Yeah, and that's about it. Right, yeah, don't forget to always check LM Arena to see if you're using the most powerful model each time. That advice will go way into the future. And the news on aitools.gg/news. And I think we're going to leave it there. We've gone 38 minutes. I've tried to keep it as efficiently as possible just in case I'm not able to do shorts. I'm hyped up. I know that you guys are hyped up. Remember that with these businesses that we're doing, 30 in 30, the idea, it's like going to the gym. This is about doing reps. This is about getting numbers on the board and starting to learn. So if I hadn't been doing this, we wouldn't have even stumbled on that Kickstarter thing to see that people are throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars of AI ideas on Kickstarter. I wouldn't have thought to go to Kickstarter if I hadn't been making these videos, telling you guys about it, and actually wanting to show where I saw someone claiming that other thing was maybe a scam, right? So that's how the universe works, right? We go on the journey, we take the path, and we find things that we maybe wouldn't have found. So don't expect these businesses, even though I've got high hopes that at least one out of these 30 businesses is actually going to be hyper successful. We don't even need to require that, because it's about the journey, not the destination. Peace out.